start this off with a little disclaimer. I have no clue what I am doing. The only reason I am sharing it is I could not find anywhere else where somebody explained how to do this, so I thought I would. Now, my situation was I wanted a tarpaulin type cover to take to events to blacksmith underneath. So first thing I did was I went to Harbor Freight and bought one of their 9x12 drop cloths. They're very inexpensive, so it doesn't matter if it gets all tore up. Now they're closer to 8x11 because they count the seams when they measure the cloth. And the only modification I've made to it is right in the middle of the 11-foot run. I put a grommet on each side. You can get that grommet set at Horrible Fried also. And I sewed into each edge a piece of this 1/4 inch rope. Put a seam in, put a rope through it, and then I also right there it is, I put some stitches with my awl through the rope and through the tarp, so that when you pull the rope tight, it pulls the rope up tight, or the tarp up tight, but it's not putting that much stress on the on the drop cloth, which I might refer to as a tarp from here on out, because that's more what it is. Now I made myself 12 stakes, made them square so they will not rotate in the ground, and the first part of putting this up is number one is lay it out on the ground where you want it to be. Then out about, I don't know, 3 or 4 feet, doesn't really matter, put your stakes in. Now I put one stake right off of this corner and right off of that corner, and the same way that way on each corner, and then from that middle grommet right there, there's a tent stake angled out that direction and a tent stake angled out that direction. Now I need to get my ridge line through the middle. So to thread this clothesline underneath the tarp right in the middle, I attached it to top of one of my poles here with a clove hitch, and now we'll just thread that underneath there. And there it is, sticking out the other side. Nice thing about a clove hitch is if there's nothing in the middle of it, it's not there. Now, this is about, I don't know, 40-50 foot piece of this. It's longer than I needed, but it's a heck of a lot easier to have it longer than you need. So we'll divide it off to where it's about halfway, and there we go. So now the ridge line is thread through there. Now I need a little piece of a stick, which under this old maple tree is not hard to find. So you put, I think it's called a bite, but you put a bite in that rope, thread it through that eye, and put that stick in there, and that's all there is to attaching the ridge line to the tarp. We'll come over to this side, bring out our There, and do the same thing there. So now our ridge line is attached to the tarp. Now we'll attach it to the poles using that same clove hitch that I used to thread that rope underneath. So I'll do that and I'll be back. My poles were 2x4s, pine 2x4s that I ripped into squares, set my blade at a 45-degree angle, and cut the corners off to make them octagon, because the rope, that clove hitch, goes on there a lot better if it's a round shape than it does a square shape. Also, in addition to the 40-foot or 50-foot line pole or line cord, this is all just 1/4 inch manila or whatever you want to call it. I've got 6 lengths that are about 12 to 20 foot, somewhere in there, one for each pole, because there's 2 lines coming off each pole. Now this one, I've attached the 2 at the center, put a clove hitch around the pole for the center line, and then attach that extra line on with a clove hitch right above it. So now I'll put you in the Mr. Tripod and see about setting this up. Okay, we can start off with one of these poles, doesn't matter which one. Hold it up straight. Ridge line underneath one of those stakes. What I do is I put sheep shank in here. I'll show you later on how I do these sheep shank. Sheep shank in. Okay. Like that. Oh, it works. Got that level. So, close up on this side. All these knots are set. Now, sheep shank. There we've got one pole set up. Now, we'll go do the other side. As you can see, she droops down a little bit, but we can tighten all this up after we get the four corners up. So, back you up a little bit here. Let's put up these two corners. According to whether you want rain runoff or just shade, what governs how high you put this on this. They're all the same way. Right now, I'm just going to start out here. Top straight up and down. Check down a little bit more. And I've got a stake up there again. They could be out farther, but I'm sure the way this all works, you can move it. Back to tighten it up. There you have it. So I brought this side down just a little bit lower and left that side high to show you that you can adjust it if you just want shade. You can put it up high, but if you need water runoff, you can bring them down low on the sides. And I could pull those up a little bit tighter on that far end. But there you go. That's it. I don't know how much wind this will take, because I haven't had it up during a windy day, but it seems to be okay. It was certainly cheap, and as you see, it's certainly easy to put up by yourself. Now, let's talk about these sheep shanks. Now, that's the nice thing about that knot. That's all there is to undoing that. And if there's no tension on this sheep shank, it's not there, so it comes undone easy. To tie that sheep shank, you make 3 loops, all in the same direction. Okay, now I'm going to hold on to this one through the middle of that one. Then the outside one, I'm going to go through the middle of it and grab that inside one. Just pull that inside one out, and that right there is the sheep shank. Now, it will not come out pulling on that rope straight, but when the tension is loosened off of it, it comes right out. So you don't have knots tied up in your lines, and it's completely adjustable. One more time. A loop, another loop, and another loop, all in the same direction. Get you pointed up here a little bit. There we go. One loop, 2 loops, 3 loops, all in the same direction. You reach through the 2 outside ones and grab the middle one and pull it up, and there's your sheep shank. Now you can adjust this one that's got this loop on it and make it bigger so it's easier to get around it. Now, I can thread that around that tent stake without even leaning down there, which is good for an old man. Point you down here towards there you go. You put that around the tent stake and then come through this bottom loop and just use it like a lever. Pull it down until it's tight. You can pinch it right there, and that'll hold it. Then just put a slip knot right through there, and it's tied off. Comes time to pull her down, just pull that slip knot out. Take it from around your tent stake, pull out that sheep shank, and you're done. Now we'll take it all down real quick. The nice thing about, like I said, the nice thing about the sheep shanks is there's no knots in your lines when you get done. So there's no set spacing on any of it. It's also the nice thing about using these clove hitches on these poles. When the tension's off, you can slide that right off the end, and when there's nothing inside it, it's not there. And just like that, it's untied, ready to put up. So let's take the rest of this down. Those sticks are disposable, biodegradable, and it all fits corn feed bag. There's all kinds of websites out there that tell you how to tie knots. There is a trucker's hitch that could be used instead of those sheep shanks. However, in this situation, I think the sheep shanks are a little bit easier to tie, and to get the rope looped around your tent stake while you're holding on to it. So you're more than welcome to use any knot you want. I'm just, like I said, I don't know if this is right. It's just the way I did it, and I thought I would post a video on it because I could not find one out there on an easy way to do it. Now, I did steal some of these ideas from the Boy Scouts. They've got good ideas. The center line going down the middle, using the 2 grommets and the sticks, that was all from the Boy Scouts. Other than that, it's just stuff I come up with. So, and for sure, if you've got a better idea, post it in the comments. I'd be glad to hear it. So that's about all I got for now. You saw how quick and how easy that was for just one person to set it up and to take it down. And it doesn't take up a lot of room. A little corn feed bag holds all the tarp and all the ropes. And then you got your poles. And they don't take up any room whatsoever. They'll fit inside my portable flue pipe that I take when I go blacksmithing. So that's about all I got. Y'all take care now, and we'll see you on the next one. Oh yeah, and don't forget,